What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to take a look at the greatest in cutlery Pony Jack. Yes, come and gone in 4 minutes. I got mine from traditional pocketknives.com. Great place to go. If you do want traditional knives, they're one of the resellers. This is a Tidiut, I think is how it's pronounced, manufacturing versus the Northfield. This is model number 68 as identified by the first 2 digits there. On this one, I don't know how many that were made, but this knife has a 2.5-inch clip point blade with a full pull nail nick, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. It also has a pen knife that is 1.75 inch, or pen blade. It's 1.75 inches long. Both of these blades are made of 1095 carbon steel. Good to go on that. I weighed this knife in at 2.2 ounces. And it priced at $154 from traditionalpocketknives.com. I will say it did come with a great leather slip here. Very nice. I went ahead and put some protectant on there, but this is going to be a great fit for that thing. So that came with it. Very nice. In terms of like some comparisons, let me go ahead and just pull out the clip point. I think for me, on the kind of lower end of the scale, is the case knives. This is a medium Stockman. I don't have a ton of traditionals, just kind of getting into this a little bit, but very similar in size. This is 2.3 ounces versus the 2.2, and the clip point blade is just a smidgen longer, but very similar. So that's definitely one of those possibles out there. The only other Great Eastern Cutlery produced knife that I have, I'll go ahead and pull out the spay blade, this is the Remington Prospector knife. This is the Baby Bullet. This is the 2021 release under the Remington name, the gun manufacturer. I'm going to clean that blade off. Great Eastern Cutlery knives, one thing you can notice is come with a prodigious amount of oil on them to protect those 1095 blades. But this particular knife weighed in at 3.6 ounces and has two 3 1/8 inch blades, so a little bit beefier thing. It does cost similar. It's similarly priced though. This one's going for $170. There's still a bunch of these available. As I understand it, about 2,500 were made, maybe because it was sold under the Remington name. And yes, it has its fair share of branding on there with Remington versus GEC, so it doesn't have all the nice naming nomenclature, but that is an option as well, you know, in that similar price range if you were looking at getting one of these in the secondary market. So some comparisons, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of slip joints, so I don't have a whole lot to compare it to. Another one will be coming in there. On the pro side, this one, the choice of steel bolsters actually and liners versus nickel silver, I actually like. If you take a look at, like, this is one that's really pronounced. You can see the nickel metal silver. This is a Rough Rider. And, you know, I verified this one. These are actually steel bolsters. And what's great about this is that in combination with the liners. Let me go ahead and demo what the liners would be also if it's brass. So this top one here has the brass. The bottom one here, the GEC is all... It's basically all steel, and so what you get is a complete flush backside. You can almost not even tell that there are any lines in there. So from the backside, I really like the way that presents, and honestly, I don't mind it. It's gonna, with being steel, it's gonna actually stand up to more beating. The nickel silver, it'll still develop its own little scratch pattern on those bolsters, but I kind of like it. Some people aren't gonna like that, and they think it's gonna be going on the cheap set. I don't know. I thought really for me it was a good thing. Impeccable fit and finish on this knife. Truly, it's just, everything is just squared up where the cocobolo covers meet the bolsters. It's perfect. You know, I literally can almost not find flaw with that. There's one super small, you can kind of see that little void in the cocobolo wood. That's going to happen whenever you're dealing with wood. You know, I can't really blame that too much. I think this is a very fair pull weight, as I'm understanding pull weights, especially that Baby Bullet Prospector, which is like an 8 because it's hard. These are kind of nice. This one I think based on that is a 6 to 6.5, and I think that's what I recall was on the site. It's since been taken off, but being kind of a little bit smaller knife, I don't want to have to wrench on it too hard. And I'd say the pen knife is a smidgen less, maybe in the 5.5, maybe up to a 6, 6.5 on the pull weight on that. So I think this is a great kind of overall little small, throw it in the bottom of your pocket knife or maybe the second pocket knife, or use that marvelous leather slip. On the con side, I think the full pull nail nick on the clip blade, by the way, I do love this clip blade. It's fantastic, super thin, slices like nobody's business. I mean, it just really tears through boxes without a problem. But going back to this, the full pull nail nick, you don't really get to use but only the front half of this. If you take a look, you can really only use that top half. It's so tightly wedged in there, you can't get to this bottom part. And I actually kind of recall seeing this from the Rough Rider, where there was a similar problem with their nail nick here. It's just so dang tight in there that it becomes, you know, tougher to use. So I think they could have just left it as a symmetrical nail nick, or what I would have possibly loved is if they had maybe made that symmetrical, so you'd have like a double full pull, and then you can almost pinch that thing open. In fact, I'll bet you could, even if you didn't have any nails. We don't want to discriminate against people who have short nails. I personally like half stops. They chose to not go with any half stops on this knife, so you just kind of roll it straight through. Again, I think from what I'm kind of understanding with a lot of these traditionals is as they have those rounded ends, it tends to just kind of flow nicer. You can see in there from an aesthetic perspective. And then whereas if you have like this particular one has the squared end ones, it has the nice flattened out tang, and so you get that nice half stop. I would prefer that myself. You have the usual lack of availability for GEC knives. I mean, these things literally sold out in 4 minutes. I do love it. I think it's beautiful overall, and I think it's a great kind of secondary knife. I love the choice of the beautiful cocobolo wood too. Being one that you're not going to be hard using, you're not going to be throwing around, rolling across the garage floor. This is kind of a great overall rounder for little small pocket knives. Throw it in the bottom of your pocket, throw it in your jeans secondary pocket. Fantastic. So hope you did enjoy this, and have yourselves a great day. Take care now.